around this afternoon, Rstvlive sued for exclusive dialogue, non-partisan stakeholders engagement in restoring political stability in the state. Pension funds strike countdown begins as PENCAM, Labour disagree. INEC deploys poll materials as parties end campaigns, and federal government rolls 0% interest loan scheme for tertiary workers. Good to have you join us on the news at 3 today, the 15th of August 2025. Good afternoon. I am Billy Jeet Yara. Do you love and care about Rstv and peace? Let's build and take it to greater heights. For this is a task we must accomplish. Now the details of our report. Rstv Administrator Vice Admiral retired Rstvlive has said inclusive dialogue and non-partisan stakeholder engagement are helping to restore political stability in the state. Vice Admiral Ibas made the assertion during a CATSA visit by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Rule Implementation at Government House in Port Harcourt. Tamno Barabi has the rest of the story.
This is the first time the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee overseeing emergency rule in Rivers State have visited. Vice Admiral Ibas told them that efforts undertaken by his administration have achieved reconciliation among key political actors in addition to President Bola Tinubu's support, which reduced political tension in the state. He highlighted key reforms in the civil service and pension management, including salary adjustments, a biometric verification exercise, and free health insurance for pensioners under the Reeve Chips scheme, with civil servants mandated to enroll in it. On security, Vice Admiral Ibas praised collaboration between communities and security agencies in curbing cultism and kidnapping, while the formation of Farmer Elders Committee has prevented communal clashes. He said plans are underway to introduce a surveillance system for early threat detection.
From the onset, I recognized that peace and progress are impossible without political stability. That is why we embarked on broad-based consultations across all political divides, reaching out to stakeholders regardless of affiliation to reduce tension and create an environment where dialogue can replace confrontation. We also had direct engagements with key political stakeholders in the state. All engagements have been frank, inclusive, and productive, with stakeholders expressing a willingness to work together towards an amicable resolution of the political impasse. In our infrastructural program, we have prioritized projects with the highest social and economic returns, intervened urgently in flood control and solid waste management, strengthening collaboration with local government authorities to keep the state clean and surrounding areas functional. In healthcare, we are working through public-private partnerships to rehabilitate and operationalize the Mother and Child Hospital and the Peter Odili Cancer Diagnostic Center, improving access to world-class care. These two facilities were completed a few years back, but were allowed to lie waste. The process of developing the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital permanent site is well underway, with the acquisition of land for the hospital in final stages. Professional teams are hard at work developing the master plan for the project. This will improve healthcare infrastructure, enhance human capital development, and self-reliance in medical services.
Chairman of the Visiting Committee, Professor Julius Nwabere, reaffirmed the National Assembly's commitment to peace and good governance in Rivers, saying the team would spend 2 days engaging stakeholders and inspecting projects.
Our visit, essentially, as an oversight committee, is to come in here and on the first-hand basis, see some of the ongoing projects, some of the challenges that the administration is facing, and also listen to the views of people, stakeholders in the state, on what they think the direction.
Tamno Barabi Iblubo, Rstvlive News.
Federal government has officially launched 0% interest tertiary institution staff support fund (TISSF), a landmark welfare and empowerment initiative for academic and non-academic staff in Nigeria's tertiary institutions. In a statement issued by Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, the fund was described as a direct response to the welfare and professional growth needs of the nation's tertiary institution workforce. The minister said TISSF is not just a welfare package, but a strategic empowerment platform designed to give academic and non-academic staff the financial stability they need to serve students with renewed dedication and to live with dignity and pride, an integral part of President Tinubu's renewed hope reform agenda for the education sector. According to the minister, TISSF is a joint initiative of the Federal Ministry of Education and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, implemented in partnership with the Bank of Industry. The federal government, through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, says it is taking aggressive steps to save the oil and gas industry about $3 to $4.5 billion in operational costs this year. Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Bayo Ojulari, stated this in Lagos in a keynote address at the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists 50th anniversary celebration. Ojulari, who was represented by the company's executive vice president, Upstream, Udo Bontier, said the company had already drawn up a roadmap that could push the cost savings target to $4.5 billion by December 2025. He stressed that this cost optimization drive is part of a wider national effort to attract $30 billion in fresh industry investments over the next 2 years and $60 billion by 2030, in line with the presidential directive. Ojulari disclosed that crude oil output has climbed steadily this year, rising from about 1.4 million barrels per day at the close of 2023 to over 1.8 million barrels per day by July 2025, a 400,000 barrel increase in just 7 months. He credited this growth to industry-wide collaboration in major infrastructure improvements, including achieving 100% operational availability of the Niger Delta of the Trans-Niger pipeline for the first time in years. The Nigerian Labour Congress has threatened a nationwide strike if the federal government fails to return what it claims to be billions of naira taken from workers' insurance contributions. It also demanded that the government fill the leadership gap in the country's Pension Regulatory Commission within a week. The NLC, through its national president, Joe Ajaero, in a communique, accused the federal government of siphoning 40% of contributions from the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund into the national treasury. This fund, which is financed by payroll deductions from millions of workers, is meant to protect them in the event of injury or job loss. However, the National Pension Commission argued that the contributory pension scheme remains secure and continues to grow as it kicked against claims of missing funds. The NLC Central Working Committee expressed outrage at the ongoing assault on workers' social protection rights through the federal government's diversion of 40% of workers' contribution to the national coffers as revenue, in flagrant violation of the statutes establishing the NSITF. The union noted the move violated the laws establishing the NSITF and stripped it of its role as a safety net, warning that any further interference would trigger industrial action. The group also criticized the government's failure to appoint a governing board for the National Pension Commission, leaving the administration in sole control of billions in retirement savings. The union said the vacuum created heightened risks of mismanagement and political interference in the pension sector. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has completed arrangements for Saturday's by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states, even as political parties and candidates intensify campaigns ahead of the close of political activities at midnight on Thursday. The Nation Commissioner and Chairman of INEC's Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, said in a statement that all logistics for the exercise had been put in place. The Commission reiterates its appeal to all involved in the elections, political parties and their candidates, agents, supporters, voters, observers, the media, and security agencies to adhere strictly to the provisions of the law, regulations, and guidelines. He added that all non-sensitive materials for the election have been delivered to the states. Election technology, such as the bimodal voter accreditation system, has been configured for the election, and that the final consignment of sensitive materials will be delivered today as scheduled. Stakeholders at Rstv avoid asked that can disrupt the process so that the will of the people will prevail. According to INEC, the elections were held in 2 senatorial districts in Anambra and Edo states, 5 federal constituencies in Edo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Ogun, and Oyo states, and 9 state constituencies in Adamawa, Anambra, Kaduna 2, Kano, Kogi, Niger, Taraba, and Zamfara states. Court ordered reruns will also take place in Enugu South 1 state constituency and Gari Sanyawa state constituency in Kano state. Director General of World Trade Organization and Nigeria's former Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has told President Bola Ahmed Tinubu the next 2 things he must do to the country's economy. The economy said President Tinubu and his team must grow the economy and provide a social safety net to cushion the impact of the reforms. Okonjo-Iweala disclosed this to journalists after meeting with President Tinubu at the Asa Villa in Abuja on Thursday. According to her, the details of the meeting with President Tinubu centered around how to grow the economy and put more money in people's pockets. In business, the Naira has continued to appreciate against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's data. The Apex Bank exchange data on its official website showed that the Naira strengthened slightly to 1,534.52 Naira against the dollar on Thursday, from 1,534.83 Naira recorded on Wednesday. This means that the Naira gained marginally by 0.3 on a day-to-day basis. At the black market, the Naira remained flat at 1,565 Naira per dollar on Thursday, the same rate traded on the previous day. You're still watching the news at 3. Do you love and care about Rev State and the peace? Let's build and take us to greater heights. But this is a task we must accomplish. Still to come on the news, suspected French spy arrested in an alleged Mali coup plot. Details of these and more when we return from this break. Please stay.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happens with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happens,
If it happens.
If it happens.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
If you're just joining us, this is the news at 3 on Rstv. Now to the rest of our reports. On the foreign scene, Mali's military rulers say they have arrested a French national on suspicion of spying for his country in an attempt to destabilize the African nation. In a statement read on national television late on Thursday, the junta elected alleged that Jan Velizia was working on behalf of the French intelligence service. His picture was also broadcast alongside those of a number of army generals arrested recently for allegedly planning to overthrow the military government. Mr. Vazilia is yet to comment on the accusation. France, Mali's former colonial ruler, is also yet to comment on the man's arrest and allegations of destabilization. The West African nation has been gripped by a security crisis fueled by an Islamist insurgency since 2012. One of the reasons given for the military takeover, but attacks by jihadist groups have continued and even increased. General Mohammedin confirmed that fringe elements of the Malian army security forces had been detained for seeking to destabilize institutions of the republic. These soldiers and civilians were said to have obtained help of foreign states. He also confirmed the arrest of 2 army generals, including former governor of the Moptic region, General Abbas Dembele, who was recently dismissed from his position. At least 55 soldiers have been arrested so far in connection with the alleged attempted coup, security forces told AFP. South Africa's army chief has been criticized after he reportedly pledged military and political support to Iran during a recent visit to the country. Members of South Africa's governing coalition have accused General Rstvlive of reckless grandstanding, while President Cyril Ramaphosa confirmed he would meet the general to discuss his ill-advised trip. The role
South Africa's military chief this week
navigates tense relations with the U.S., which has taken exception to the country's ties with Iran, among other issues. The Democratic Alliance, part of South African government, called for General Mafawanya to be court-martialed. It said his comments had gone beyond military discussions and entered the realm of foreign policy. South Africa's Defense Department labeled the general's remark unfortunate, while Ramaphosa's spokesperson Vincent Mangwenya said the president didn't know about the trip or sanctioned it. General Mafawanya, who was in Iran solely for a military trip, has since returned home, Mr. Wangari added. About 365 people have fallen ill in an Indonesian town after eating school lunches, the largest spate of food poisoning to hit President Prabowo Subianto's free meals program so far. The meals have temporarily been suspended in Sprangen in central Java as food samples are being tested for contamination, local authorities said. The program, which costs an estimated $28 billion, delivers on a campaign promise by the president to combat stunting in the country. But it has been plagued by a string of food poisoning, as well as criticisms that its high price tag has put considerable strain on the government's finances, with several ministries having their budgets cut as a result. The government has, however, said it will cover any medical expenses incurred as a result of the food poisoning. U.S. President Donald Trump and President of Russia Vladimir Putin are preparing for a highly anticipated summit in Alaska on the Ukraine war. Ahead of the summit, Trump says Putin won't mess around with him, while Russia's foreign minister says their position is clear and unambiguous. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is notably excluded from the talks and has warned that decisions made in his absence will be meaningless. From the entertainment desk comes a report that famous American rapper Nicki Minaj has congratulated Afrobeat singer Davido and his wife Chioma on their wedding. Dominio Alao tells us more. Report.
Releasing the fairy tale wedding, Davido revealed that he and his wife are still basking in euphoria. He also noted that it was one of the best days, if not the best day of their life, adding that the whole world celebrated them. Reacting via comment section, American female rapper Nicki Minaj congratulated the both of them. Yinka Tessin, ex-lover of Lynch Edochie, has publicly accused May Yul Edochie, estranged wife of Nollywood star Yul Edochie, of orchestrating cyberbullying against her. She also claimed that May's supporters, known as May Nation, targeted her with online harassment, including a petition to her workplace in order to get her fired. She alleged this group that has attacked her and her children and shared personal information, continuing the harassment even after her breakup with Lynch Edochie. Yinka has also issued a public warning to May, demanding an end to alleged harassment. Popular singer Tiwa Savage has revealed that she is still looking forward to remarrying. In recent podcast interview, while lamenting that she is still single at 45, the mother of one admitted that her difficulty in finding a husband could be due to her standards, sharing that her ideal husband should be a young and rich man with no baby mama issues. Dame Vera Lynn's audition records are to be released for the first time 90 years after they were first recorded. The late singer's first records were discovered when her daughter Virginia Lewis-Jones donated her mother's record collections to the British Library Sounds Archive, along with the silver lining aluminium record auditions, which are labeled by hand. A copy of Dame Vera's first audition, It's Home, recorded in 1935 with band leader Howard Baker, was also found. Dominion Alabo, Rstv Entertainment News.
In the world of sports, sports, President Suleiman Hermer has admitted he would prefer Galatasaray's record signing Victor Osimhen to delay his return to action until after the clash in the Super League on Friday. Speaking to Echo Sports ahead of the trip to Rams Park, Herman acknowledged that as a football fan, he would enjoy watching the Nigerian striker face his side. Royal Doko has more.
Osimhen, who rejoined Galatasaray this summer on a 4-year deal after a loan spell last season, has been undergoing individual training following his move. Although not fully match fit, he is expected to be named in Okamburok's squad for the fixture and could feature in the second half, with his first start likely to come away to Kayserispor, according to reports in Turkey. Nigeria's senior men's team, the Tigers, will continue their mission to win a second continental title when they file out against the defending champions and 3-time winners, Tunisia, in their second round-robin fixture on Friday at the 2025 FIBA Men's Afrobasket Championship in Angola. The 2015 champions, who are seeking to end a 10-year trophy drought, had begun their Afrobasket campaign with a convincing 77-59 victory over Madagascar on Wednesday. Prior to Wednesday night, Tunisia's last defeat in the tournament had come during the third-place fixture in the 2015 edition. Interestingly, that was the edition which saw the Nigerians emerge champions as they laid claim to their first and only African title under the tutelage of William Voigt. With top spots still to fight for between both nations, a win for either side would go a long way towards securing an automatic spot in the quarterfinals of the quadrennial competition. Nigerian forward Chidera Ejuke has returned from a thigh injury after resuming full training with Sevilla on Wednesday, providing a timely boost ahead of their La Liga clash with Athletic Club. The 27-year-old's comeback is equally welcome news for Super Eagles manager Eric Chelle, who is expected to finalize his squad for the next set of 2026 World Cup qualifiers within the next 2 weeks. The thigh injury sustained during pre-season training had initially threatened to rule him out of the season opener, with Ejuke becoming the 9th player to be sidelined for Almeida just 2 weeks before the campaign began. However, his recovery has proceeded according to plan, with Spanish outlet Marca having previously reported that the recovery period will be approximately 10 days, meaning he will be fit for the league debut against Athletic Bilbao. Royal Duco, Rstv Sports News.
Do you love and care about representing a piece? Let's build and take us to greater heights. For this is a task we must accomplish. And that's it on the news at 3. Join us for more reports at 7:30 p.m. I am Billy Jeets. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Rstv